Green Room is directed by Jeremy Saulnier, and it stars Patrick Stewart, Professor X, along with Maybe from Arrested Development, and is about this punk rock band that are traveling around the states, and they're just barely living out of their van. They're siphoning gas, and they're going around, and they go from town to town just trying to get some shows, and then they ended up getting sent to this one show where they're going to be playing in front of some neo-Nazis, some, skinhead type people, some not people that you don't want to be around very long. And they play the show, and then what ends up happening is they witness something, and then they get stuck in this room where the Nazis are coming after them, and they are in this very tense situation, and they have to try to figure out how they're going to get out of it. They don't have many options, and it's a very intense and gripping movie, and it's well written, it's well directed by this guy, Jeremy, that I've never really seen any of his movies. I looked at some of his history, and he makes a lot of these horror kind of films, and from the very get-go of this movie, I really liked the style that the movie had in it. I thought that it had a lot, it was very creepy, and it has a very dark tone to it, but you got drawn in. You get drawn in with the characters because they're not exactly likable, but you are drawn to them, and you want to see what's going to happen because the way that he set with the story, it's very intriguing, and I thought the director did a very good job with the movie. I liked all the acting in it. Maybe the girl from Arrested Development. I was happy to see her. I was like, oh, I like her, and I didn't really know any of the other actors in it, but I thought they all did a good job in the movie, especially as it continued on and you got to know a little bit more about them. But the standout is definitely Patrick Stewart here. I mean, he shines in all of his scenes. He steals them, and it's like maybe it's because he's the most recognizable character that you know, but every time that he's on screen, you are connected to him. You want to see him more. Unfortunately, he's not there too often throughout the movie. He shows up and he leaves, but then he's a very important character, and you want to see more of him, but you're happy the times that he is there. Now, the thing with this movie is it's a thriller, and you're on the edge of your seat, you're wondering what's happening, and it's very intense. But then, about halfway through the movie, it kind of turns into a Hostel kind of movie, a kind of Saw, just disgusting and horrifying kind of thing where they're just killing, and it's all bloody, and the movie kind of divulges into that, and I felt like it didn't need to do that. It didn't need to be so graphic and all in your face with the violence and everything that happened with it. And when it ended up happening, I felt that like the movie went down a trail that it didn't have to, because I thought it was a pretty original setup and a pretty very tense kind of thing. But when the violence started happening and the moving parts started going around, I felt like the movie kind of took a more generic route to where it ended up going, and it doesn't lead anywhere bad. I actually liked where it ended up going, and there was definitely a lot of twists and turns along the way, and it's a movie that I enjoyed watching for the most part, but it's just so dark, and then it gets so graphic and disgusting at points that it's like you kind of turned off by it. It's like it's hard to watch, but as the movie goes on, and then by the end of the movie, which I think it ends well, and it has probably one of the best just final scenes I've seen in a little while. I like where it ends up. I like where it starts out. The middle is a little bit shaky for me. I thought it brought it down a little bit. I thought it went to more of a Hostel movie kind of thing than where in the beginning it was more just an intense thriller. And that's my biggest problem with the movie, but I thought the acting was good, the directing was good. It's an enjoyable movie, I guess, because you're on the edge of your seat and you want to see what happens, and you want these people to make it out of there, and it's fun to watch them discover new things and everything. But after a while, the movie it kind of recycles the plot points that have happened already, and it kind of just keeps going back to this room. And I don't know, I felt like the movie just it really wasn't that much in the middle there, but the beginning and the setup and then how it concludes, I thought was well done. But yeah, overall, I'm going to say 4 out of 5 for Green Room. I thought it was a pretty good movie. Definitely not for everybody, because it's definitely scary and it's definitely intense. So a lot of people will be turned off by that. Somebody just left my theater because he obviously could not handle it. So it's definitely not for everybody, but if you're into that kind of thing, I think you'll enjoy it, and it's a pretty fun watch. It's not fun, but it's a good movie, I would say. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you like this and you want to see more reviews from a guy like me, you can subscribe. and I'll see you at the next one.